Hey everyone, my name is Julian Boone, and this is my term project proposal for CSC 750 Principles of Web Technology. This project is called the Real Estate Pipeline Tracker, a fully browser-based web application built for real estate agents, investors, and transaction coordinators. I wanted to build something that solves a real problem I personally run into every day at work. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that on the next slide. So, a little about me and why I chose this project. I'm a senior here at Wayne State in computer science. But outside of school, I'm also a licensed real estate salesperson in both Georgia and Michigan. And on top of that, I currently work as a part-time transaction coordinator for a family-owned real estate investment firm right here in Detroit. So when I sit down at work, I'm literally managing deal pipelines. I'm tracking closings, monitoring deal statuses, keeping up with buyers, sellers, agents, MLS numbers, um, purchase practices, all of it every day that I work. The tools that exist for this, some can be either too expensive, others can be bloated, and unfortunately, others can just be not designed in a way that a transaction coordinator actually thinks about managing a deal. So for this project, I'll be building my own from scratch using the technologies that we're learning in this course. So here are my five main goals for this project in order. First, I want to build a fully functional browser-based TC pipeline tracker, a tool that gives you a clear view of every deal in your pipeline at a quick glance. The second is the front end. The front end will be built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That covers the user interface, the forms, search functionality, and all of the client-side behavior. The third is the back end. The back end will be built in SQL and PHP. PHP acts as the server-side layer that handles requests from the browser and communicates with database. And the fourth one is the deal analyzer module. This deal analyzer module will automatically calculate four key investment metrics. Now, this is gross rent multiplier, gross yield, cap rate, and cash on cash return. These are numbers that every real estate investor looks at when they're evaluating a property, and having them built in the same app as their pipeline is genuinely useful. And last but not least, the entire application will be deployed on Amazon Web Services. Be committing to deliver by the end of this semester. You will be getting a dashboard, the main landing page that gives you a high-level view of your pipeline. You will be getting a transaction list page where all deals are displayed in a sortable, searchable table. You will be getting an add and edit form for creating new transactions and modifying existing ones. You will be also be getting search functionality. This will give you a fast lookup across your pipeline. You will be getting the deal analyzer separate page where you enter your property details and the app automatically calculates all of your investment metrics. And finally, you'll be getting a deployed live publicly accessible URL posted on Amazon Web Services. Now, let me walk you through how the app is structured, starting with the front end. The application has four main HTML pages. Index HTML is the main dashboard. Transactions HTML is the pipeline list view. Add.html is the add and edit form, and Analyzer HTML is the deal analyzer module. All pages will share a single style CSS file to keep the look and feel consistent across the app. On the JavaScript side, app.js handles all of the core transaction logic. This is adding, editing, deleting, searching, and sorting deals. The analyzer.js is dedicated entirely to the deal analyzer. It will take the user's inputs and run the investment metric calculations. So the structure is easy, clean. HTML handles the content structure, CSS handles the styling and the look, and JavaScript handles the behavior. So here's how the front end and back end actually communicate with each other. When a user does something in the browser, like for example, submitting a form to add a new transaction, JavaScript sends that data to the PHP script running on the server. The PHP script processes requests, then it talks to the MySQL database to either store or retrieve the data. Then PHP sends a response back and JavaScript updates what the user sees. So the flow again is browser to PHP to MySQL, back through PHP, and back to the browser. This is standard server-side web application pattern. This is your standard server-side web application pattern. The browser doesn't really touch the database directly. Everything goes through PHP. And for deployment, PHP will also run on Amazon Web Services EC2 instance. And the MySQL database will be hosted on Amazon RDS, which is Amazon Web Services Managed Database Service. And this is the actual data model we have here, the fields that get stored in the database for each transaction. We have file ID, property address, closing date, purchase price, listing price, status, buyer or seller name, listing agent, MLS number, and notes. These map directly to what a transaction coordinator actually deals with on a real deal. File ID is the unique identifier that we use. It's how we look up, update, and delete specific records. Everything else is standard deal data that any transaction coordinator, real estate agent, or investor will recognize immediately. And also one thing I wanted to mention, this project is built from a C++ project I built earlier in a previous class. That was also a real estate pipeline tracker that used a doubly linked list and an AVL tree for data management. This web version will replace the text file storage of the C++ with a proper MySQL database and replaces the command line interface with a real browser UI. That way, investors and agents can actually use the program. Here's my development roadmap broken into 3 milestones. Milestone one is all about the HTML and the CSS. This is getting every page built and fully styled before any JavaScript is written. That includes the dashboard, the deal analyzer, the search page, the transaction list, and the add and edit form. My goal here is a polished, good-looking front end with no real functionality yet. Now, milestone two is where the app actually comes to life. This is where we get the full JavaScript functionality. That means we'll be able to add, edit, delete, search, and sort on the transaction side. And the deal analyzer calculations on the investment side will also be there, along with the risk flag logic. Amazon Web Services deployment is also targeted in this milestone. And milestone three is the back end integration. We will be connecting everything to PHP and MySQL so data persists across sessions. So instead of living in the browser itself, the transactions will be stored in the database, which will be accessible from anywhere. So in conclusion, that is the real estate pipeline tracker. a web application built from real domain logic using the full stack that we're learning in this course to solve a problem I actually have at work. So me personally, I'm actually looking forward to doing this and sharing my progress with you as the semester moves forward. Thank you for watching.